Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cornerstone, the Escabur campaign. Quite a few changes here. I'm trying to make it more compressed onto one layout so you guys can see everything. You can see me, you can see the map, and you can see the document right here. I've also moved the character sheet for Narf onto the document, the master document. So he's here now. We have this dollar store rock. We have his hero path, health, armor, karma, hero die, melee, strength, his hero path features, descriptions of the features, inclinations, aspects, his equipment he currently has, his wealth, and his slight backstory and current objectives. So I still have the deck here. This deck has been pretty good so far. So why get rid of it? And I also have gone back to the digital dice roller. In terms of other videos, as far as analog tabletop, I will still use my camera rig here and dice rolling, everything is on the table. I want to experiment with a certain game called One Page Rules, which is a simplified version of Warhammer. I want to get into Warhammer, kind of very lightly. Obviously, I don't have the money to spend for models, etc., but basically budget hammer approach. So that's a different venture for another day. Now, a very good frequent commenter on the channel here had a great idea that I mentioned in the comments that I'm and on video here. I want to see more suggestions from you guys. That way, it's not just me. I can throw in a story hook that I will credit you guys. So if you make a comment, I will post it on here. In the previous video, I did ask permission on the comment, and I said I will definitely credit this person. So here is their comment. I will have a separate scene here. This is from Chris. So basically, their idea, is Larienne being a cabinet of commerce in Cornerstone. She heard about the trade proposal in Haldreth, but also found out too much of this plan between Jory and the King of Emberstock. So maybe someone from Emberstock took her, or maybe Jory's men to question her in order to find out who else knows of their plans before they kill her. All right. This is a fantastic idea, and this is also similar to what I had in mind. Basically, before I proceed, I want to mention that I did slightly change her title. Something more, I don't know, medieval. Overseer of Commerce. That is her name, or that is her title. And she has been missing for the past couple of days, several days. I wrote here, was seeing a man before her disappearance. Stencil, who is her assistant, right here, assistant to Larienne. He has no picture yet. Saw a man giving her flowers. The man was wearing a tall black hat and a cloak. And so basically, tying in with what Chris's comment says, what I did have in mind was a tie-in to Emberstock. And Emberstock is led by the notorious King Jenkins. So, I also fabricated an idea where there is this land struggle, this rivalry between King Jenkins and some of the owners in Cornerstone. Now, Cornerstone is a democracy, democratic government. So there are voters, there are legislators, and there is basically a lord or a president or a leader of sorts. We're not that far in just yet, but that's the very basics of Cornerstone. Now, Castle Emberstock, since they are not too far away, and the Jenkins family is so wealthy that they own most of the central part of the southern island, anything outside the forest, basically. They want more land. Now, why would King Jenkins want to kidnap uh, Laryen? Let's talk about that before we proceed narratively with the story. I've also made a separate subsection here to follow each arc. So this is the Cornerstone arc. I detailed everything that happens. Well, all the important factors. I won't note everything that occurs. And so let's talk about her, Laryen. Her dealio with the King Jenkins Castle Emberstock could be, well, if she's in charge of commerce or she has some kind of authority over um, commerce in general, then she most likely advocates for business ventures for the local vendors, local shops in the Cornerstone area. And so she goes to neighboring locations and settlements to discuss deals, potential offers, trades, stuff like that. Bureaucratic, uh, bureaucratic measures. And I was thinking one day before her disappearance, or at least sometime after Narf, or she parted ways with Narf as as they were kind of secretly dating. She fell into some type of potential business proposition or deal with Emberstock, which had um, interest from Jenkins himself, and so something happened between that time when she went over, traveled north to Castle Emberstock, and working out some kind of deal with Jenkins and his people. Something occurred. Whatever that was, we can find out. We can definitely find out later on if we ever find her, if she's even alive, for that matter. So I think that's a great foundation for this hook. And let's write this down here. So in basically, I'm going to try to remember this, but I cannot promise. But anything the character does not know just yet, this is hidden information, will be in these parentheses. So, was working on a business proposition with Castle Emberstock. Something happened. They kidnapped her. So they are the source of this problem. Again, in relation to what commenter Chris has said, this is between Jenkins of Emberstock and her. Now, the Haldreth tie-in, I don't know just yet. Keep that in the back of our mind. Let's put this in the document. Any relation to Haldreth? Question mark. We don't know. Again, that could be something we find out if we ever find her. Now, again, thank you for the comment, Chris. Always feel free to throw in ideas, and I will put them on here and rightfully credit you. Now, back to the narrative. The card we pulled was this one. This is the gentleman, this is the individual who bursted through the door. I say bursted, but I almost forgot. Our hero, Narf, has a certain inclination, danger sense. He cannot be ambushed. If this individual is a threat, which I'm going to say they are, it makes things just more conflicting, then I don't think it's like a door-to-door salesman. I truly think this will be, he cannot be ambushed. Now, cannot be ambushed. Is this a boon where I roll for Narf to prepare for a potential encounter? Or does he just automatically succeed? I think so. Now, going back to this picture, this appears to be someone who looks to be more in a lower ranking position, and they are crafting these emblems that are being motorized, some kind of device that carries them up, some kind of trolley, but going up. And so I think this individual is a messenger because he's holding a message. That's how I'm interpreting this. But why would a messenger attack? This messenger, it doesn't have to be this poor sap of an individual, this guy who has some kind of low level job, that does the same thing over and over and over and over. It just could mean that this person is a low level scoundrel of our friends up north, Castle Emberstock. So they perhaps were coming here. I'm going to put the card in the back of the deck so we don't see it for quite some time. This individual is a scoundrel, is a paid fixer, which is also Narf. If you guys didn't notice, in Narf's profile here, I gave him the extra title Fixer, which rich people have nowadays. So it is a real thing. Warrior is just the cliche, while Fixer is more accurate for the narrative. Okay, so this, a fixer of King Jenkins bursts into the house. But remember, with his inclination, Narf cannot be surprised. So he has this spidey sense. He's able to just has this gut feeling or this strange sixth sense that someone is watching. And so before that happens, Narf has a strange feeling they are being watched. And I'm sorry if this is turning into like a journaling, like a solo journaling, but that's keyboard is so close. I have I'm eager to type away. And you guys can tell my camera is the one on the computer, so I'm typing. It's like it's a 6.0 magnitude earthquake. Now, Narf is going to basically grab Stencil and push him back, or push him into the room, and pull out his weapon. So this is going to be the short sword, I believe, is his weapon of choice. I'm going to bold that in letters here because it's equipped. That lets him free up. It is not a two-handed weapon. Short sword is typically one-handed, but he has a shield, which I also need to detail. That's part of his armor, shield. And I guess technically heavy armor plus shield, because in his armor section it's heavy. Now, it's kind of an abstract representation of armor, but I'm going to just put heavy armor plus shield. So if he had a two-handed weapon, which he does not, then the armor save would go up to a 4 for any armor save throw. But it is a 3. Now, you notice there's a few things he can do here before we get into an encounter, which we will ask the Oracle if it is an encounter. Shield sacrifice, free action per scene, negate all attack damage, but sacrifice shield, armor save becomes +4. Brutal strike, master of two-handed weapons, crit on 5 or more, no shield. Dual weapons, extra boon with dual weapons, 3d6, higher 1d result, no shield. So, not only can he roll 3ds, 3ds, Nintendo 3ds while he's holding it, as a shield, of course. Actually, he's better off using a Nokia phone from the 90s. But not only can he have a 3ds, but he has the... I keep saying 3ds, I apologize. A 3d6. I swear I speak English. He can crit on a 5 with that 3d6. But he has a short sword, which is not a dual weapon. He has a standard short sword and shield. Okay, I figure like I've discussed that enough. Now, let's go to the Oracle. We can see if this fixer for King Jenkins is possibly an assassin. Perhaps it's a scout of sorts, someone who was keeping tabs on the house, and we stumbled in carelessly, thus this scout, so a fixer, I should say a scout slash assassin of King Jenkins, let's say, was tailing Stencil. Narf cannot be surprised. That's just a little reminder for myself. Go. Before that happens, Narf has a strange feeling. He pushes Stencil into the next room. And then the assassin bursts in, throwing ninja stars. Why not? Ninja stars. Not part of the era, but whatever. Okay, and because of that, that gives us the chance to dodge. He can't be ambushed, so that's an automatic dodge, essentially. Let's pull up the dice roller. And Narf, despite his large frame, he's able to um, dodge. Now, encounter the assassin. If I pull up the book here, just for some examples here. So the book has monsters in it, has references, a bestiary, basically, its own bestiary. And I'm just looking for how these characters are based on. And so strikes, this assassin, I'm going to give him, let's say strikes, he has, let's say, let's say 2. Now, I gave Narf 5. Typically, he was not a barbarian, so you typically give him 3 with his warrior class, but I gave him 5 because solo character, I give them a leg up. Now, to hit this assassin, this is what we have to roll when we're attacking. We have to roll I'll keep it simple, 3. There we go. All right, those are his very brief specs. And now we prepare for an encounter. This assassin bursts in or throws a couple of ninja stars. Or let's just say throw some daggers. If we want to stay within the theme, throwing a dagger. Narf dodges because that's his inclination. Now we are in a combat. Okay, first round. The first round will be Narf. Thematically, thinking of how this will go, Narf will, or maybe he just blocks it with a shield. Why not? Narf, whatever. Yeah, you know what? Let's say that. Narf blocks it via shield. There we go. And now we are in encounter. So the rules say for encounter, whoever goes first, the rules say, but I will find that section for you guys here. So wait for it. Turn actions. A turn. You can do attack a target, cast a spell, use a scroll, disarm a trap, pick up a drop weapon, run, move further, armor shield, which we already have. Any other action deemed by the Rebel Rouser. Free action, speak to an enemy. Let's try that. So basically what he does, I'll keep the book right here. What he does is he blocks the dagger with the shield, and he kind of keeps it in front of him, but looking at this individual who's through the doorway, hops inside, draws a dagger like this, a couple of other daggers. Narf, naturally, he'll ask, and who the hell are you supposed to be? Thinking of the rock. And anything Narf has here in terms of intimidation. He's intimidating, rough exterior. He's trying to get some details out, but I don't think the guy's going to answer. So even if he does try to ask, who the hell are you? Basically, Narf, who the F are you? That's no answer. Now, the assassin is going to charge at Narf and try to strike him. So we're giving the assassin the first go. In terms of turn action, if it was Narf's turn. That would have been perhaps I used a free action to speak to him. The guy doesn't answer. So technically, actually, Narf can attack. So Narf will attack. And we're going to roll. Let's see what we have here. Anything can help. Melee, that gives him a boot. So we roll 2d6, and we're aiming for the to hit 3. So get the dice here, 2d6, and we're shooting for 3 or more on one of the results. 6s do ace. Okay, so that is a 6, which does ace. So that's 1 hit. And then we roll another one. That's 2 hits. And that's 2 strikes. And then, of course, it takes 2 strikes. So, 2 strikes. Narf with his short sword. Okay. So while the assassin lunges at Narf, carelessly at him, Narf smacks his head with the shield and then just guts him with the sword. Right into his stomach. And the assassin drops back. Falls back, collapses, bleeding out. That's the encounter. Pretty simple. So, right, he kills him. Assassin on ground, bleeding out. Okay. Stencil re-enters the room. So this is kind of like the hallway, the main entrance to the house. And Narf is going to investigate the body. So, Narf investigates the body. And as easy as that was, because of the exploding dice, this is what I draw. Okay. It looks like some gentleman who is, again, that emblem pops up, that star emblem pops up every so often on these cards. I'm pretty sure it's actually a theme of the, yeah, it's pretty much on every card. So I'm not really sure what to make of that. But anyways, hell, why not? Why, you know what? Let's say the emblem is Jenkins. Maybe King Jenkins has an emblem. No, he wouldn't be that stupid. I don't think he would just show Castle Emberstocks is like they have an emblem, they have a logo. You know, they reached out to a marketing team. They're like, hey, you know what? Take away the take away the old timer. It worked out well for Cracker Barrel. Why not try it here? So, no, I don't think they have like a general logo they're going to put on an assassin per se, but they probably do have an emblem, but at Castle Emberstock. So, would this individual have? Would King Jenkins be careless? Would be dumb enough to put an emblem, or this assassin has a patch that looks familiar or has something that is tied to Castle Emberstock? Let's ask the Oracle. I mean, I'm here sitting asking the question. Might as well ask the Oracle himself. 25% chance that this assassin has the emblem of Castle Emberstock. Not that Narf might know. We'll get to that in a second. 25% chance. That's 29, which is a no. So this assassin does not have any markings that are familiar to Narf. So no markings nor emblems. Now he digs through the guy's pockets. That's the first impression from the robe or his wares. But again, this thing here, the character in this card is holding a notepad and a pen. Maybe it could be an actual ledger. Let's say it's a ledger. So I'm going to use it literally and say it's a ledger. So Narf finds a ledger. And we're going to put that. The ledger is not like a locked one. maybe I actually might have a lock. Or it's just a ledger. It's just a little notebook. So he's going to add that to his inventory. Characters, ledger from assassin. And he's going to read the ledger. He shows Stencil it while reading it. Stencil is trying to understand what just happened. He's like, oh my gosh, what just happened? What is this? And the Rock, Narf, is like, this little bastard popped out of nowhere. Tried to kill me. He puts his shield down a bit. Again, he goes to the guy's pockets and finds a ledger. Shows it to Stencil's like, what is that? And Narf opens it up, and there's a bunch of names in it. There are dozens of names. Crossed off. Narf was a target. Or should I say, Stencil's name was in the list, not crossed out. Stencil was the target. This assassin was trying to kill Stencil, which makes sense. Stencil works for Larien, Yarlen. But maybe Narf was also in there. Did King Jenkins know? Did anybody from the Castle Emberstark gang know of Narf? Did she talk about Narf? If she's in captivity, again, if she's alive. Let's ask the Oracle. I'm going to say 50-50. I just don't really know. I don't know the probability of that. So, 50-50. Does Castle Emberstock in general, we'll put this in the quotations, 50-50 chance. That is a 94, which is a no. They do not. That's an extreme no. Okay, so basically, Emberstock, King Jenkins do not know of Narf, which is good. So Narf does, narratively, this how it fits in, does not see his own name in this hit list. So not only is it an assassin, it's a hitman, which is an assassin. It could just be a merc. I mean, like, I could just put merc. So the ledger is going to pocket it. He tells Stencil, your name's in here. And so Stencil takes the ledger and looks through it. Narf tells Stencil his name is in the ledger. The hit list, I should say. Stencil looks through it. Now, does Stencil see anyone in this ledger who is familiar to him? Other names? I'm going to say 75% chance. That's a solid 90. 90% chance he does. So we'll do that. Throw the dice again. 90, 41. That's obviously yes. Okay, so he sees, that's a solid yes. He recognizes dozens of other, well, let's say, depends on how far in this merc was. I keep saying merc, hitman. Let's just say hitman. So let's redefine. Let's figure out how many names this hitman had already taken out. How many people? It says dozens of names, and let's just say a few have been crossed out, which means that Stencil was one of the first, at least the first 5. He recognizes a few names, and the list is probably the list has 10 or so people. There we go. And let's draw a card to see if there's someone on the list that stands out. It's a female character, and there's another couple people underneath this table doing something with some kind of mechanical, some kind of weighing device. So there are two very important people on this list who are very high up in position. Okay. Now, these two people, there's technically three people in this image, but I'm basing it off that weighing device. So, two important public figures. Are they crossed off? Are they crossed off? I'm going to say 25% chance because, again, he only had a few names crossed off. So let's get the D100 again. 25% chance. Oh my gosh, they are. Okay. Ooh, that's not good. So, yes, they are DED dead, which is a Robin Hood Men in Tights joke, in case, because I've said that joke hundreds of times. All right, so Stencil gasps, shocked. Yeah, he drops the ledger in like disbelief, and he cannot believe it. He does. He's like, and Narf is kind of standing guard because he doesn't want anyone else to break in and kill them. So he's kind of looking around and he picks a ledger up and says, "What is it?" Now, Narf does work around important people. So he looks back at the ledger and looks at the two that were killed. So looks, yeah, so Narf looks at the two names crossed off. Would this be a general roll? Like a knowledge check? Like, does he know who these people are? You know what? Let's have some fun. Let's say, yes, it is. He's lived here most of his life, I think. Yeah, he's lived here most of his life. He was born here. Yeah, he was born in birthplace is Cornerstone. So, but does he follow politics much? Probably not. Um, again, he's just a muscle. He knows who he works for, but that's it. And then whoever he meets, he retains that information that they are important. So anything that helps here with knowledge check, it's no. This will be just a straight up D6 flat roll, and I will give a difficulty of like 4 or 5. Let's say 5, because I don't know. So we'll do a D6. We'll go back to the arc here. 5 or more. He knows who this is, who they are. No, he doesn't. Okay, so Narf does not recognize the names. He takes a brief look at it. Stencil says who they are. They are, again, two prominent. Let's do a slight retcon here. Um, two, let's say, two staff members of, I keep forgetting her name, Laryen's team, which is bad, especially for him. So again, this this hitman was targeting her team. These Stencil basically says says that the two with were the two were with his team or his coworkers, and he's in disbelief. So Narf reiterates, "You were a target. I just happened to be in the way." Yeah, and then Stencil's like, "Why am I being targeted by who?" So they're like, "Who did this hitman work for?" So there's no distinguishing marks. There's no emblems. There's no patches. O'Houlihan, nothing on this guy, which is concerning. There could be another one down the street at a Starbucks waiting for them to leave. So, what to do next? Well, Narf thinks they should head to his boss to ask for help. Stencil probably agrees because he says it's probably not safe for me to go back to our federal building, whatever government building they work at. So Narf and Stencil agree to go see who is his boss. I can't believe I forgot the name. Works for Mr. House. All right, we're finally gonna make Mr. House. Probably in his little capsule, keep himself alive after 250 plus years in New Vegas. So they close the door and they go out the back. They leave. Leave. Oops, no. Not leave. House. And they kind of slip through the back. So this won't require a roll because I don't think. I think it was just that one hitman. King Jenkins, again, if he is truly behind all this, entrusted this one hitman to take out her team. They probably know too much, something like that. And again, there's also that person that we can't forget is that mystery man with the tall, the big black hat, or the black hat. Yeah. Now they go to Mr. House's house. Uh, so at Mr. House's house. Okay. So Narf. Oh, actually, it's late. It's way too late. What to do? Let's take a step back here. It's nighttime. Can't forget nighttime. Let's say let's roll for it. So they're trying to sneak out, and perhaps Stencil says, "Well, if I'm targeted, I'm not safe at home." And so Narf's gonna take him to the Fight Club. His he's gonna say you can stay in the while this all blows over. You can stay at my what's it called? Where is the Fight Club? The Groundbreakers. The Groundbreakers, which I'm still iffy on the name. I don't know. Groundbreakers. Thought of it. The Fury Forge. It's a secluded, tucked in the corner club, strictly for mercs, fixers, brutes, assassins. This is like well, actually, no, that wouldn't make sense for them to take him to a place where they might be more killers waiting for him. It's strictly just a club for certain individuals. So he takes him to the Fury Forge. Let's go to the Ark. Okay, Narf takes Stencil to the Fury Forge. Good. There's a password at the door. It's a handshake. It's a knock. It's a spit. It's a whistle. All that kind of stuff. The door opens. They enter. It's a underground, big rodeo tavern club dance hall, and they walk in. So Narf and Stencil sit at the bar, and this is not where he was before. This is a different. This is like an actual. They're at the Fury Forge, which is not where he was before. Stencil, again, the beginning of all this, met him at a local tavern. That's it. So I'll put that bold here. I'm going to try to put locations in bold and highlighted. Tavern, and then if we're going for the noise here, mention Song of the Man. Before leaving, a mysterious man bursts the door. So this would be discovering her makeup. They go to Lauren's house. There's another location right here, bold and yellow. Now, the Fury Forge. But the name of it technically would be the Fury Forge Club, the FFC. Okay, they sit at the bar, speaking to. I think Narf is trying to figure out what to do next. He's talking with Stencil. He said, "Look, I can talk to the barkeep. You can stay here until this all blows over. There's probably more of those bastards around the city. They're probably looking for you. If they're targeting you and Lorian's team, most likely you're still in danger." He's telling him all this, and Stencil, for the first time, it's drinking. He's holding in yellow. He's like, I don't drink, but it's never too early to try something new. He takes a sip. And Nar's like, that's the spirit. Slaps him back and spits out some ale. And so Narf offers him to stay at the forge for safety, and so either talk to someone who works at the forge. So Narf waves down the owner, who's a big barbarian kind of character. The owner of the forge might be a character. Let's for now let's just leave it the owner of the forge. Ask him for a favor. Asks him for the favor. Stencil. And you know what? I'd say that maybe Nar's reputation is very good, so this favor will go through. Basically, the owner of the forge will let Stencil stay. So the owner allows it, gives Stencil a key to the back to a safe room, to a back room. Okay, so Stencil thanks Narf for the help, and they both continue just okay. So they need to now figure out. Narf needs to figure out a plan. So Narf says, "Get some rest. We'll meet in the morning here, and we'll go talk to Mr. House." That's the plan. So Narf and Stencil rest up. Plan to meet in the morning at the forge. I like that. The forge. It actually works pretty well. Okay, so Stencil stays in the forge. Narf goes back home. Okay, so he's going on his way. He's going on his way back home. He missed whatever shenanigans they do at the forge from like earlier till that time. You know, again, Fight Club kind of thing. They have some. They play pool or whatever. Play cards. I don't know. It's basically an over. Um, it's basically a what do you call it? Man cave kind of place. Okay, so Narv. Now, where's Narv live? I think Narf lives in a rundown shack on the side of some store. You know what? On the side of a church. Okay, Narf lives in a rundown shack attached to a church. It has a bed, it has a cot, basically. It's just a small little apartment. Okay? He goes to bed. Now, does he get there without any problems? I'm going to say 75% chance. Does he get there without any problems? Oh my gosh. Wait. Yes, that's a true yes. That's a good yes. Yeah, he does. Without problems. No problem at all. Okay, he goes to bed. And that will be it for this episode. There you go. So, let's draw the next card to determine... Oh, actually, I want to save that for tomorrow. All right. Well, that's it for today. I will be at the next few days is Labor Day weekend, so I will be spending time with family and some convention. So I'm going to try to do my best to make an episode every couple days, every other day. Not like my usual. Well, I try to make a video every day, but obviously work calls. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you like this new format where everything's on one screen. I like it. It's actually really convenient. I don't mind having my character sheet being so compressed. It's more so, it's just easier. And also, you guys can see it. I'm not using my camera for this, and I have the old physical character sheets behind me, but I rather have it on here, so it's all in one little area. But anyways, thank you again to my commenter, Chris, for the suggestion. Feel free to, if you have any other ideas, I'll try to throw it in there. But again, I always welcome the engagement from anybody out there, other commenters. I know there are a few others that comment. So thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.